Hello there, welcome to this guide where we'll be testing out one of the settings for the races, avoid high-risk curbs. To do this, we're going to be playing with Merc on a completely fresh save, as you can see. We haven't done anything to car, done anything to anything, it's completely fresh, everything is at its base stats, nothing has changed at all. Russell is, Russell, and Hamilton is Hamilton. Now, the reason why we want to test avoid dangerous curbs is because it completely eliminates tire heat from your tires. I tested this with Red Bull, basically running out front with it, and it basically is the same as running full attack, two stop. You can do that with a one stop, but I'll be showing you here with Merc, and I'll be showing the Red Bull numbers and the strategies at the end. So what we're going to do here is basically go to race weekend. We're going to be setting up our cars for basically perfect setups for both Russell and Hamilton, and then we'll get to race weekend and we'll see just how effective it is to use the setting avoid high risk curbs, and just how much tire wear you can save. It basically cuts your tire degradation in half at some point. So as I said, we'll jump into this, get everything ready, and then we'll see where we're at. Here we are, we're ready to test the race itself. As you can see, we have Hamilton on a two-stop strategy, but that's just there for reference. We're basically going to be seeing how different the degradation is with avoid high risk curbs. And the setups are as close as I could get them here. Couldn't get Russell to 100%, unfortunately. And of course, we're going to be doing attack, push, and deploy at the start for both drivers. So with that, let's just get in the race and we'll see exactly what the effects are of running the avoid high risk curbs command. So to start with, we're going to put ERS on both our boys. We're also going to go ahead here and avoid high risk curbs. And we're also going to head here and have a little bit of a look on what that does. So avoiding high risk curbs here gives you less powertrain and tire wear. It lessens your risk of puncture at a slight cost of lap times. As you see, it says slight cost to lap times. Now, generally, this comes with a few pretty significant bonuses right now. And I'll be going through them in, well, as we can see them. The first one is, of course, the less tire wear, but it's also less tire temperature. In this case, as you can see, we're basically running 108, 109, but it will rarely, if ever, go above that. And if we have a quick look at the optimal temperatures here, you can see that we're far away from even slightly starting to overcook these tires. So the tires are gonna be, they're gonna be in, you know, beneficial state. We are gonna have to re-harvest it for Hamilton. That's my fault. We're also gonna be pushing fuel a bit, but as you can see that the tires will not be overheating basically at all, which of course is going to be a huge help to us. That is the first one. We're going to be getting a little bit more of the performance that we're losing from there. But the second one here is actually going to be, as I said, the tire wear. The tire wear difference between running avoid high risk curbs or not is, in just one word, insane. It is literally about a 50% less degradation in terms of tire wear. As you can see at Hamilton already, you can see that the tire wear is not even close to what is expected. And if we compare them right now to the other drivers on the grid, these are basically the ones that started with fresh ones. Sargent doesn't count, he had a lockup, so he's lower. But they're about 76 to 78. We're running 87 at this stage. So again, it basically halves your tire degradation. And it's going to save you a ton from that perspective. I did kind of forget fuel here, but we'll deal with that once we get towards the end. But yeah, it's going to save you a ton of tire degradation, meaning that this strategy, if you do that, we're probably just going to do a one-stopper. And if we follow this line, you can see that the expected tire degradation is not going to hit 30% until we get into that medium stint. So we can do basically over half of this race on one set of softs, which is a tiny bit mad. And as an added bonus, we are kind of keeping up with the cars in front here. We're not keeping up with Paris and Sainz, of course, they have pulled away. We are keeping Leclerc behind though, and we're able to stay within DRS without overcooking the tires, without really losing any durability. And that is a huge, huge benefit. Like, we have, as long as we can keep up with technically faster cars in front of us while running this, I don't think you'll have any problems with how we do this. And as you can see, Leclerc's actually close down to Sainz as well. That's an added bonus. Now with this strategy, we're probably just gonna be pitting once, so around lap 26, 27, 28, basically at the halfway point, because it's kind of hard to estimate when the best time to pit would be with this, because the less durability, sorry, The decrease in durability loss means that softs will retain their advantage for longer. So probably around the halfway mark for this one. We're just going to use that as a testing ground. Perez and Verstappen has already pitted their first pit stop. So we'll be doing ours in just about 5 laps. Now keep in mind that I did also test how effective this was in terms of running out front. Took the Red Bull saves and I ran Perez and Verstappen out front. First with the standard strategy that we had earlier, a 2-stopper, attack, soft, soft, medium without the curve command. And then I ran both of them in another race with the curve command, a 1-stopper. Basically the same strategy that we are putting now for Hamilton and Russell. And the difference between the two drivers in terms of time loss at the end of the race, not the two drivers, the two strategies, the time loss at the end of a race was just 3 seconds, which over the course of 1.5 hours is very, very little, let's be honest. So it doesn't seem to be a significant time loss, and if you can even get into the arrest trains of the cars in front, this strategy can probably be very, very powerful. Because again, we're running attack, we're not losing too much time because we are running attack, and at the same time we are retaining so much more tire that 1-stop has become viable virtually everywhere, probably even at Coda potentially. Because have a look at this, we still had about 20% left in this tire before it would have been bad. So with that in mind, it gives you a lot more flexibility, but again, I would assume that this is going to be neutered. I don't think you would be able to, again, save this much tire, save this much temperature. So it would not surprise me if we are going to be seeing towards the, well, once they actually release a balancing patch, that this is going to be very, very neutered. Now, Leclerc's gone into his final set of tires, as has Verstappen. And we'll be basically hoping to stick with him if we can. Russell probably won't be able to here, but Hamilton might be able to stick with Leclerc. Probably not though, Leclerc is just on fresh softs. But if we had been able to, say, stick with him, we would have had very, very good chances of doing something, you know, like causing kind of an upset towards the end of this race. We'll still have another chance here with Verstappen, but again, because he's on basically fresh softs, he's going to be a lot quicker than us. Now, Alonso actually kind of running wide there does help us out a little bit. But from a strategic perspective, this can definitely, as I said, pay off. It is an interesting way of doing things. And it does cut your tire wear down by about 50%. So it's very powerful for that reason alone. And we are running basically 6.9s here. They're running quite a lot quicker than us, which isn't that surprising. 10 laps to go here, and if we want to get something done, we're probably going to have to go a little bit on the attacking side. But as you can see, it doesn't really help us here too much. It is, again, a very interesting strategy to try. You don't really lose time. But the main thing you're going to have to do if you want to, you know, benefit this one is going to be kind of reliant on you having a little bit of luck, I think, unfortunately. And, well, at this point, we are going to have to try and conserve a little bit of fuel for our boys so they don't run out. And we could probably here also toggle it off. Could probably toggle it off a few laps ago. And allow them to go onto the offensive a little bit, see if they can actually catch up a little bit more to the cars in front now. Because we have been saving quite a lot of tire wear. And it will at least keep you safe from, in Russell's case, Sainz. But this is not going to be a very, you know, a wonder fix. But again, the tire wear save is going to be massive for some tracks. Could be huge. And yeah, could definitely be a strategy that would work. Now we are cooking Russell's tires. We're going to just give him a bit energy there to fight Sainz. And 4th and 5th, while not great, will potentially be enough here that Ferrari can, that we can give a fight to Aston and Ferrari for 2nd place in the championship. So again, in terms of lap times here, we're just going to have a look there towards the end. We were running about 36 blanks. This one was a bit of an outlier. We're running 37, so let's be honest here. And we're going attacking for the last few laps did help out. Hamilton too helped out a little bit going attack for the last few laps, just toggling it off. But generally here, the idea is that you save a lot of tire life, it gives you way more flexibility, but avoiding high risk curbs doesn't really cost you anything too much in terms of race pace. That's the thing. It adds flexibility. You can definitely use it. Again, cuts your tire durability in half. So if you use it tactically, let's say that you place yourself into a DRS stream, you can reliably sit in that DRS stream, then you can just toggle that off to save tires from both heat and, of course, the durability itself. Because again, 50% durability reduction, basically. So I'm probably bad at explaining it, but it cuts your durability in half to avoid high-risk curbs. And that in itself is insane. And it doesn't cost you that much in terms of race pace, because as I'll be showing you with Red Bull now, the difference between these two strategies are just 3 seconds race time. Can be plus minus a little bit more, but generally they will be pretty close to each other. So let's have a quick look at what Red Bull looked like. Now this is a testing save that I did with Red Bull, where we basically have, well, Bahrain set up with perfect everything, where we can test different things. And in this case, we ran a full attack stint. This is basically going to be the control. We ran a full attack stint to the limit for both Verstappen and Perez. Now Verstappen in this one does have 99 smoothness, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be running the avoid high-risk curbs over again on this the exact same preset for this race, and we'll see just how different the times are. So with that in mind, let's just finish this race quickly and see what time we actually end up with. And then, as I said, we'll do another one where we just do that one stopper, avoid high-risk curbs, and we'll try and get the fuel to the same level for that run. Let's see what we actually do end up with in terms of race time. And it should be 1:32.28. So 1:32.28 here. Let's do another one where, as I said, this is when we've attacked to the limit, basically pitted as soon as time with 30, 2 stops, full attack, and we'll see if we can actually beat that by doing a one stopper with avoid high-risk curbs, just purely on pace. Again, this is set up so that Verstappen and Perez will be quicker than the cars behind, so that they can get away at the start, and it's basically just for testing. I used the editor for this, did not use the editor for the Merc stuff. Here we are, we're back with Red Bull, and this time we've done a race that has been on avoid high-risk curbs for the entire run. And as you can see here, the tire degradation has been virtually nothing. Again, usually you'd expect us needing to pit here, but we could basically have pulled it past lap 30. And for Verstappen, it's even, you know, kind of more insane. Now, we're going to have a look now at just what is the difference in terms of lap times. Remember, we were about 32.28, I believe, for the previous run. Let's see where we actually end up here when we do it slightly different. And 32.31. So it's very close in terms of time. You don't actually lose much, if anything. With three seconds slower here. 3 seconds slower in a race that lasts for 1.5 hours with, you know, back markers, other things causing potential problems is virtually nothing. And as you can see, our best lap times were pretty slow there with 1:35.1, 1:35.2, but we've basically been very reliable, I would assume. Let's have a quick look at the lap history here. 35.7, we were actually pretty slow on that last lap, lost a little bit of time. 35.7, 35.8, 35.9, so yeah, 36 is basically for the entire stint. So if you take this into consideration, then yeah, things are definitely a little bit interesting. Also, the fact that we lost time on the last lap, about a second. So both of them actually do kind of give you the exact same, well, pretty close lap time. So particularly on tracks where, you know, doing a two-stopper attack doesn't work, where you need to go aggressive, this can definitely be very, very effective at getting the job done. And if you can follow the car in front, it's definitely for sure better to just toggle on the avoid high-risk curbs, because you're going to be saving, as I said, it's going to cut down your loss of durability by 50%. You're going to save 50% more tire by running avoid high-risk curbs, and if you can stay in DRS with the car in front while doing that, the advantage you're going to have is massive. So this is probably going to be patched in the future, but right now it's definitely, you know, viable to do so. As you can see, running the two-stopper full attack versus running the one-stopper avoid high curbs attack, the difference is minuscule. In this case, just 3 seconds. So it's definitely a viable strategy, but again, I would assume it's going to be patched in the future. It seems like, as I said, that the avoid high-risk curbs might just be, well, we aren't cooking the tires anymore, overheating them. We're running them within the optimal window. So I don't know exactly what's going on here, but I would assume it is a combination of well, the tires are being run in the optimal window perfectly, and also the modifier that says you're going to get less tire wear, and they somehow probably have been set a little bit too high, because saving 50% more tire but just avoiding high-risk curbs is mad. And as I said, there's no real time loss, so if you're struggling on a worse team, you can definitely take advantage of this, but that we won't do it. With that out of the way, thank you for watching. As you can see, this definitely works. You can definitely do it. And I hope to see you around next time, which hopefully is going to be the design guide. Well, a revised design guide with a little bit more information. So again, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Helps me out a ton. And I will see you around next time. Bye bye.